What's up, everybody? Welcome to Speak for Yourself Next, a safe space for millennial sports fans like myself. Here, we give our most fierce responses to Jason Marcellus' takes. I'm your favorite social media manager, Darnell Smith. We got a very, very special guest in the building, Naptown legend, Ball State football phenom, the one, the only, Jason Whitlock. How you doing today?
It's next.
It's next. I ain't old and I got that bass in my voice here with.
Smoke some cigarettes or something.
I get on that soon.
Yeah.
And y'all know I can't forget about the two-time Baylor All-American, Miss Nina Davis. What's going on, Nina?
I feel good. We're in the presence of greatness today.
Come on now.
Like,
it's some money at this table right
it's
now.
some money. I'm trying to get there. We both are.
Yes, we are, man. We got a good one for you today. We're going to get straight to it. Talk about the Cleveland Browns, who had a tough loss this weekend against the Steelers. But what everyone's talking about is head coach Freddie Kitchens' shirt he wore that Friday leading to the game that said Pittsburgh started it, in reference to the huge brawl a few weeks prior against the Steelers. And our guy Whitlock had his famous Whitlock 2.0 talking about the culture in the Cleveland Browns. Check this out.
The shirt is significant. It's an indication of mindset, an unhealthy one that has permeated the Cleveland locker room all season. The Browns are victims. That's been my narrative on them all season. Odell Beckham Jr. infected the Cleveland organization with a loser's victimhood mentality. The stench of OBJ's mindset stretches all the way to the owner's box. Last week, Browns owner D. Haslam came to the game wearing a hat supporting Myles Garrett. There's no accountability in Cleveland. Pittsburgh started it tells you everything you need to know about the culture in Cleveland. It's a culture for losers, victims, the irresponsible, and people controlled by emotions.
Ooh-wee! Oh, man, big dog. That's some fire right there. So I'm going to talk to you first. I want you to kind of dive a little deeper into your mindset behind the victimhood mentality and OBJ and how he's caused this in Cleveland.
Well, really, I'm going to dive into y'all's mind because I'm fascinated by young people, and there's this seems to be an obsession with finding your victimhood and talking about it over social media. And I just come from a background where I'm a Christian and was raised in the church, and the whole mentality that was preached to me by my grandmother, my minister in the church was like, you're never a victim if God is on your side. Jesus was a victim if nobody else was, and Jesus didn't see himself as a victim, so why should we? I just think the Browns, through OBJ, through the ownership in D. Haslam, and through Freddie Kitchens, they just have a victim's mentality, and it bothers me.
No, I got you right there. So it's multiple parts that I want to kind of break down. First of all, just in response to just the mentality in general, I'm right there with you. Obviously, I have a Christian background as well, and I just believe having a victimhood mentality, whether it's in sports or in the real world, never leads to success. Even in situations where there's cases where you might really be a victim. There's serious situations and scenarios, but even in those cases, it's not leading to a solution. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about solutions. No matter what the problem is, okay, how can we solve it? How can we fix it? And having a victimhood mentality isn't leading to that. In response to your OBJ, that's the only part where I disagree with you in your Whitlock. I don't believe OBJ brought the mentality to Cleveland. I believe that mentality has been in Cleveland for years. They haven't made the playoffs since 2002. They haven't won double-digit amount of games since 94. That's the year I was born with. They've been garbage and had a loser mentality for a long time. So I think OBJ added to it. We know complaining about his watch, his pants, all types of things that I think he added to it. But do I think he's the cause of it? No.
So, I agree. 3 for 3. Obviously, I come from a Christian background as well. And like you said, if Jesus can't play the victim, who are we to be a victim? Who are you to complain? Obviously, it solves no problems. So the simple fact with the Browns, yes, everyone's playing the victim. But first and foremost, it starts with the ownership for me. Everything triggers down from the owners to the coach. And Kitchens wearing that shirt is just plain dumb. I don't know what he was thinking. I heard his press conference and he said his daughters wanted him to wear the shirt, and that's great. But you have to know that there was going to be bulletin stuff for the other team. And it's a simple fact that even if you have a player like Odell, there's you let him come in and change the culture of the whole team. That's the point of the ownership. How about you be a father figure or whatever you want to call it for Odell and give him the right leadership. Change him. You don't let Odell come to the team and everyone scoop down. The owner wife are wearing hats, you're wearing shirts. It's like no one's taking ownership. It's if you're saying what they're doing is okay, and it's not. So if it doesn't start with the ownership, the coach, or the owner of the team, how do you expect your players to not follow in the same footsteps?
Look, I think you all make great points, and I really like Darnell saying add it to it, and maybe that is more accurate than saying he created it, because certainly if I'm the owner of the team or if I'm the head coach, it doesn't matter what attitude OBJ brings to the organization. I know as the leader of the team,
Right.
I can't let that infect me. And I've just never known a coach who ever tolerated excuses, or they tell you, coaches may be mad as hell at the officials, but they'll tell the players, hey, don't worry about that. Control what you can control. That's outside our control. It doesn't matter if they're against us.
Yep.
We can handle this. That's the mentality that works. I just see the Browns infected with a loser's victim mentality. And I just wish more people would focus in on Lamar Jackson, his approach, his mentality. Russell Wilson,
Yep.
his approach, his mentality. That's what works.
No, I totally agree with that. What's the shirt Lamar's been wearing? What is it? Nobody cares, work harder.
Yeah.
That's literally the message. Ball State alum right here, myself as well. Our strength coach, Coach David Philly at the time. That's the message he preached to us all the time. Nobody cares. Let's go. And that's the mentality in life. Everyone's going through stuff in life. Everyone has their own issues, trials, and tribulations. Even people who are close to you, who may care, who care about you. At the end of the day, they got their own stuff they got to worry about. So, how are you going to attack this problem? Like I said earlier, it's all about finding solutions. Being a victim and crying about stuff, no one's going to have sympathy for you at the end of the day. And like you referenced earlier, that's the whole Christian mindset. If you can't have faith and worry don't go together. That's just what it is.
I say to young people all the time, pity doesn't pay any bills. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I say, I used to tell my young family members when they would complain about things, I was like, oh, okay, let's say somebody did injure you,
Right.
did something harmful to you. Let's say someone's car ran over your leg and broke it. Mm-hmm. You can complain. You can say, hey, they should pay for this. But you have to do the rehab or your leg won't get any better.
Right.
If you're not willing to go through the rehabilitation process, lift the weights, blah, 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 your leg's not going to get better. And that's the mentality I've seen with successful people and successful teams. It's like, okay, something bad happened, but I got to fix it or it won't get fixed.
And no one's going to feel sorry for you either. Like the simple fact, if you're going through rehab and you don't want to rehab your knee or your leg, life is going to go on. It's someone coming up behind us. Everyone has the same dream. Someone else is waiting for you to fall and for you to stay down there. And as we're saying with Christian, if you truly believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, there shouldn't be no complaining. If you want to get back to the top, you have to work hard. You can't be a victim. You can't cry. And quite frankly, by the time you get to the NFL, you're too old for that. You're not a kid anymore. You're not a child. No one's changing your diaper anymore. Like, you're grown men.
Right.
So it's the simple fact, if you're a grown man, act like one. Don't play the victim. Fix your problems. Don't complain. If you're losing, maybe everyone, starting with the ownership at the Browns, should look in the mirror and see, how can I fix myself first? Because it's not just one person, it's the whole organization. And then they should come together in a team meeting and maybe express how we all can get better, because everyone's on there is truly acting like a kid, and the organization's never going to turn around.
What did y'all think of me saying that social media spreads the victim mentality?
I definitely think, especially on Twitter specifically, with the whole Black Twitter movement that we all know so well, I think you do have a point there. I think a lot of times it's like people on social media is fishing for the negativity, fishing for something that they can argue and debate about. It's like they lean more on the negative than the positive. And like you said, anytime there's a victimhood type story, someone's blaming someone else for whatever the case is, you see this whole backlash of everyone wanting to jump in and join in. And I don't know if it's social media, the platform itself. It still comes down to how you use the platform. Obviously, me and you, all of us, we're on social media. I don't see any of us, focusing on that and focusing on the victimhood mentality. So it comes to your mindset and how you want to utilize this platform.
But that also comes down to we don't all have the same upbringings. Like us three are Christians, but can we assume that everyone else is a Christian or had the same upbringing as us? We were clearly raised not to have a victim mentality. Like our parents raised us that you got to go out there and you have to get it. But I feel like social media, Twitter, Instagram, it's created a platform where people can hide behind their keyboards now. You have reassurance from people that you don't even know. You have someone with an egg emoji that you have no idea how they look telling you that, oh, it's okay, Odell, like they're just picking on you. I would have had on the Rolex or the watches or whatever, and you don't even know who these people are. So it's like reinsurance that as this society now, I guess our generation, unfortunately, that's what we're just a part of, looking for other people instead of going to ourselves first. Like, you're the problem.
I'll say this, though. We can remove faith from the conversation. It just contradicts the values taught in sports. And that's what bothers me when I see any athlete giving into this. I was like, do they even understand the endeavor and the culture that they're in? The entire culture is against victimhood. Sports is about the conquerors and those who are conquered. Choose a lane. No one feels sorry when Baylor beats up a team by 80 points in women's basketball. Do y'all go in the locker room? Oh, I feel sorry for them. That's tough.
No, we were trying to beat them by 100. Like, no, we're trying to win by 100.
That's just the way life is. But anyway, you guys, this is pretty good. Y'all should have me back more often.
Come on, anytime, man, anytime. But listen, y'all, that's all we got today. Be sure to tune in and speak for yourself on FS1 Monday through Friday to support our guys Whitlock and Marcellus, because they're the reason we got next. And be sure to tune in and subscribe to YouTube to catch all new episodes. Hey, I'm out.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.